Hello, family. It is me with Bridget Ekpo. Look at her. Hey, my beautiful friend is here. Hi, Bridget.
Hello.
Welcome to Kenya. We're driving to the south coast.
Yes.
We're driving towards Kwale, for those of you who know Kenya. Yeah? So welcome to Kenya.
Thank you so much.
How do you like it so far?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Really?
Yeah.
I see that you're telling everybody to come.
I'm like that. If I know something good, I must tell the whole world. I'm like that.
I know. I'm Kenyan and I can never get enough of the coast.
You can't.
We used to come here to the coast with my parents when I was a kid, and I'm still in love with Mombasa. I don't get enough of it. I just don't get enough of it. When I leave, I still feel I need to come back.
Yeah.
Something about the ocean. Yeah?
It's nice. So I'm wondering, I was going to ask you about relocating back because you lived in the US.
Oh, yeah.
And then you relocated back to Kenya.
Yeah.
And of course, relocating is never easy when you live in the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that a lot of Kenya do relocate back to Kenya.
Yes.
When they go to school abroad, like you went to school abroad, and then you came back.
Yes.
So how was it for you? How was your experience?
Yeah. I tell you what, when most Kenyans, when they travel abroad, even we actually studied to return. That was the original plan. They were building up, the elite for the society. So whatever you get, whatever you're training, every class I took had to have some sort of relevance to Kenya.
When did you come back?
Yeah. So I came back in 1997, 1998.
That was
Quite a long time ago. Yes, it was a long time ago. And I had spent actually 10 years in the US.
And so you didn't stay for an extensive period like that?
Yeah, because I wasn't planning to. I actually studied international development. So I knew that there were job opportunities back home, and I would definitely get a job opportunity. So since I came back, the first time when I came back, it was very difficult. I came with my bachelor's degree, and I couldn't find a job. So I did a lot of volunteer work and decided to go back for my master's so that I could be more employable.
Yeah.
So since I came back, I can say the initial integration was quite difficult. And the thing that was hardest was culture shock.
Right.
Yeah. The culture shock was really crazy. I almost went back.
Because you are now Americanized in a way.
Nobody understood me. Right from my mom, my dad, nobody understood me. They're just looking at me like who's
this foreign person?
Yeah. What makes them think that you can make independent decisions? What do you mean?
Yeah.
When you left this place, we told you what to do. Now you're coming here to tell us that you're going to do this and that.
Yeah. So you've emancipated yourself by the time you came back.
I was already very emancipated, and I was already, raised in a home that was kind of liberal. But still, even with that, I was very different by the time I came back.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I had very serious work ethic. I had no patience. I was very impatient. I didn't have time. I was like, why are people so slow? Why are you taking so long with my papers? I applied for this job. Why don't I have a response within a week? What's wrong? Yeah.
You need to forget everything you know about living abroad.
Oh yeah.
You need to reorientate yourself to living and actually change your mental way of absorbing things when you come to Africa, because it's a different environment. People do things differently. And how did they perceive you in the workplace, for instance?
Oh my God, that was even harder. Being a colony of the British, Kenyans actually believed that the Kenyan employers then believed that anybody who went to America had failed their exams, so that they couldn't get into British universities.
That's so funny.
Although, for me, I came from what they call the National Youth Service.
Yeah, we do it in Nigeria as well.
In Nigeria, you do your youth service after university.
Yeah.
Here,
so what about women? When you came back, how did women who had not left Kenya
So what I was perceived as is somebody who, that one from the rich family who had money and the parents took them abroad to school because they couldn't pass the exams. So they thought anybody who studied in England, in America,
couldn't pass their exams.
Was not as well trained as somebody who had studied in England.
They really love England.
Yes, and that was the situation then. That has really massively changed now. My language skills were not as good anymore. I wasn't ready to do corruption.
That's a big
problem.
That's a big deal.
I wasn't ready
especially at work.
Yeah, some of the culture.
If you don't cooperate with corrupt practices, then you become ostracized.
Exactly. And one of the things I had a problem with is because I'm not a drinker, as you know. I didn't have a habit of going out to drink after work. So that became a big problem at the workplace.
You see everybody that goes to drink after work here in Kenya?
Yes, it's a culture. It's like you need to socialize after work. And especially if you're a woman in a good position, you need to make the men feel like you're always not dominant or that you're always subservient to them.
So it's going out for drinks.
One of the ways is that if a man asks you for a drink after work, you go.
So you have no choice.
And I said no, I would go to look after my son. You know me. I didn't want to go out. I don't want to drink. I don't want to socialize. I don't want to be with them.
You need to have a house here to come. If you live in a diaspora and you're planning to come back to Kenya or any other African countries, do you need to have a house?
More important, you need to have your qualification. In those days when I was coming back, but even till now, what's important is that you understand the work environment and see whether your qualifications would help you to get, to be qualified for a job that will earn you enough money to live a decent life. Yeah, that's all I can say. So if you can come back and find a job, at least if you have a job that can pay you well, it's a good place to start.
The reason why I asked that is that a lot of people who live in Nigerians especially, we are very big on you must have a house back home. If you're living in diaspora, you must have a house back home. People prioritize it a lot before even thinking about going back home. That's why I asked. And I see that a lot of Kenyan women too are into building houses a lot. Yes. Kenyan women build houses a lot here too. And that's why I asked that question. Because
I guess that's an individual thing. I think to me, I feel as an individual that I don't have to have a house to go anywhere, because for me I carry my brain. And, if I could rent a house, I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay.
What mattered to me is that I had a source of income.
Yeah, so source of income is
the most important.
It's most important, so that at least you have an income coming in.
Yes, I need to have a source of income that can give me the quality of life that I have abroad.
Yeah,
that's very important. That I can live a comfortable.
Can you really have the quality of life you have abroad here? I
have a much better quality of life here than I ever had in America or anywhere. And that's not to say that I didn't live a comfortable life. I lived in a proper apartment over there. How do you define quality of life? I guess that's the question.
You know me, I always think about about money. So
money. I think
about making money. That's what I think. But then again, you are right, because like there's so many things that add to your quality of life here. Like you have a woman in the house now who is doing your laundry for you, which you cannot get abroad. That's quality of life. Somebody to clean your house. That's what you can't get abroad, because it's you can, but it's very, very expensive to get maids who are going to clean your house there. It's cleaning service. They charge per hour. So yeah, I guess you're right. The quality of life is good here, but maybe perhaps what I keep thinking is that if it's possible to make the kind of money you make abroad while living in Africa, which is not always possible. People do make huge amount of money depending on the kind of job that you're into. Like you are into international development, and you work with
if you're working for the international community, I make more money till today than I ever made abroad. That's a fact.
Right.
I was working for the university over there. I had a job with the University of Minnesota there, and I had a proper job as a researcher. But I make more money here, and I made more money here eventually, because it went further, and I'm being paid in dollars.
Yeah, if you are being paid in dollars or any foreign currency, that's excellent.
The same thing in Nigeria, and even in Kenya. Even if you are not working in the international community, if you're working in business, you have opportunity to scale up your business and earn a lot of money. Yeah. When I went to travel to Nigeria, I saw people who in America cannot afford the lifestyle that Nigerians have in Nigeria. The ones who have the money.
True.
So there's opportunity to make money wherever you go, I believe, and to have a quality of life. And like you said, the house helps, for example, really helped me to progress my career, because I had to travel a lot. There's no way I could travel with a child, so without them I wouldn't have really progressed. So I have a better quality of life, but what bothers me in this country is lack of order.
Okay.
Disorder is an issue. Not being able to project my future, not being able to plan and budget. It's very difficult. The elections every 5 years that disrupt, the societal fabric, that cause insecurity. So that insecurity, job insecurity is high. At least when abroad, that you can get any job, and you have a safety net, because the government will always take up your slack. If you can't afford food, you can get some money for food. Here, there's nobody helping you. There's no safety net here.
Of course,
So I think that's why people feel the need to build a house, because if you don't have a safety net at home,
and you run out of money, how are you going to pay your rent? Okay. It makes sense.
I guess,
so do you have any regrets lastly?
The only regret I have is not having children. I had one child, and because of that, because I wasn't generally most people would avoid marrying a single mother in Africa in those days, and in Kenya in those days. So I myself was also very protective of my son, and I was protective of myself. So I would avoid also getting into relationships, because I knew it's possible to easily get pregnant and then be left again, and I wasn't going to do that. So that's the only regret. I think that if I stayed in America, I probably would have gotten married again early and had children.
Yeah.
Because when I came to Kenya, it was not that possible.
Yeah.
So that was the only regret I think.
You were just building your career and trying to survive.
I was 33 when I came back. So I was still very young. I could have still had more kids. And since I like children, that's not being able to have more children is a huge regret of mine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But other than that, there's no regret.
I'm sure your son will give you loads of children. So you become a grandmama and then you have loads of grandbabies.
My kid is as expensive as 10 children. So anyway, I don't regret that much.
Now you have grandbabies and that will make up for the one that you have.
Yeah, that was my regret, but it's no longer a regret.
In general, life in Kenya.
No, I don't regret being here.
Society.
In fact, if anything, I'm so glad I came early. Actually, the best thing I did was to come in my 30s, because I would have regretted if I came much later.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
It.
So
yeah, it's been harder to integrate.
Yeah.
We're still chatting. Thank you so much for watching and for listening, and for those from Obodoibo TV channel, welcome to More on the Go. You're gonna find me there with other cartoons. I'm the other cartoon, but the African human cartoon. So anyway, welcome to Kenya anytime. And if you guys want to book, even Kenyans who want to book holidays in Mombasa, because I know you do, you guys. If you don't want to stay in hotels, let me know. Just get onto my channel. So talk to you soon, and